Your phone ringing off the hook? You're right, robocalls are on the rise, but there are ways to fight back. Cody's with our resident nerd on call, Ryan Eldridge, this morning.
Yes.
I hate those calls.
Here's what I want to do. Every time I get a call from a number that seems local and they say, hey, you've done this thing, I want to go, drives me insane. So help us, Ryan.
That's why you go through so many phones, right? Is because you keep breaking your screens and your
smack them, yeah.
So robocalls are an epidemic. So Umail, which is a visual voicemail provider, they basically said that there was a 40% increase in robocalls just between February and September. That's a huge amount. It's 83% over last year. So it's a real epidemic. They're saying that nearly 50% of all U.S. mobile traffic will be scam calls by 2019.
May I repeat my earlier statement?
So your phone has become the new spam box, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you remember you used to get like hundreds of spam messages a day, and now it's not so bad. You know, mostly the filters are taking care of it. What they're doing is they're using caller ID to spoof and make it look like they're local. Like, oh, I know this number. It's just down the street, I think. I'll answer it. It's probably somebody that needs me. Well, they're spamming, or they're using spoofers from internet service providers that are allowing them to make phone calls on their service, right? So they can hide who they are, what their phone number is, all their true intentions, and they can move so quickly that law enforcement can't really stop them. Speaking of law enforcement, the FTC is the one that's supposed to protect us from this sort of thing, and they're doing their best. They're really trying. They've sued hundreds of companies and gotten billions of dollars in judgments, but yet it's still happening. So Umail says that robocalls basically are going to be about, I think it's 40% of the 4.4 billion calls that were made. 40% of those robocalls were all illegal. Now, robocalls, there are some legal means of use, like if it's a campaign or if it's like a nonprofit or something like that. But if they're trying to sell you something, that's illegal. That's why the Do Not Call Registry doesn't really work, because they're already breaking the law, so they figure, let's just go ahead and do it. So these companies got together and they said, we're going to fix this. They created a $100 million software program that's been in development for 3 years, and they're going to roll this out over the course of 2 to 5 years, so it's going to take forever. But essentially what it's supposed to do is create a token system. So if I have a phone number, I have a token, and I exchange that with your phone that says, hey, I'm a legit source, right? And that way it kind of takes away some of the spammers from being able to call you all the time. So what do you do when you get a call? You don't want to like yell at them, scream at them, punch a bunch of numbers. You just want to basically just hang up. Don't do anything else with the call. You're not really going to get revenge that way. And if you're not sure if it's really your friend or not that's calling you, just look up the number on Google before you answer and just say, hey, is this legit or not? And if you don't have time, if they don't leave a message, they'll call you back if they really want to talk to you. So here's how you stop them. Obviously, the Do Not Call Registry doesn't really work, but do it anyway, just in case. Just in case the other service comes. Contact your service provider and find out, do they have any kind of blocking services? AT&T has one for free. So you can call them up and say, hey, put that on my phone. You can also use this cool little tool called RoboKiller. Now, this is a really fun tool because what it does is it blocks already known numbers. Over 1 million numbers it's already blocking. So Marianne was saying she's blocking them by hand now. 1 million numbers, Marianne.
Yeah, that's how I think how many I've blocked is 1 million.
This is the best part, though. What they do is they have a little bot that answers your phone for you if it's a suspected call, and then waste the time of the scammer. And there's a little button on this website you can go to, and you can listen to the bots talk to these scammers. It's hilarious. It's a good afternoon.
I love it.
So what you want to do is the other thing you can do is on your voicemail, you know that tone you get when you call a disconnected number? Put that on your voicemail at the very beginning of your voicemail. So it's like, and then you say, hey, it's Cody, just give me blah, 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 blah. Most people are going to ignore it, but it could send something to the robocallers that's like, oh, this is a disconnected number. Take it off my list.
That's smart.
Tricky, huh? Excuse me. The last thing you want to do is report the calls. So you go to the National Do Not Call Registry. There's a little form you can fill out that tells them when you got the call, what the number was, and everything else. And it'll at least put it in their database. And if there's enough offenses, the FTC will take them down.
Thank you, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope. We really appreciate that. That drives me nuts.
RoboKiller. That's the game.
Anger rising. All right, back to you.
It is. All right. Thanks, you guys. Good tips. Okay, let the pumpkin be